Raygun. Do you mind starting with her real quick? It seems like it's the natural progression of what we just said. Raygun, the Australian breakdancer. That was all the rage. I watched it again yesterday in its entirety because I'm like, let me remind myself. Because I saw a headline that she was devastated, wanted the media to stay away. She was embarrassed, her family, and how much she loves breakdancing, and this is like a travesty.
You know what it is? We need to learn our lessons because we're quick to pounce and we're quick to mock people, and it's funny. I'm not above it. I'm not better than that. I should be, but we all get a good laugh when people lay an egg, as you say, Rich.
Yeah.
It's always funny. And at the same time, we were like, what is going on? Is this for real? Because there's even a part of you thinking, did she just troll the entire world at the Olympics? There's no way this is serious. It looked like a comedy sketch. If you don't know, Raygun, and everybody knows because she's the most viral person out there, represented Australia, women's breakdancing, came out there and started doing moves I'd never seen before. It was ridiculous, and it went extremely viral.
She looked like a toddler.
Yeah, and I say, don't we
just
learn our lesson?
rolling around on the floor.
Because our immediate thought process should be, like, are we being too mean? Maybe there's something else going on. It's like the Britney Spears.
No, it's the
stuff.
Olympics. It's the Olympics. This isn't a celebrity or an athlete.
Look how the world pounced on Britney Spears. Then everybody started feeling bad, thinking, well, we were picking on somebody who couldn't really handle it.
No.
It was also the first time, you say it's the Olympics, but it was the first time we've ever had that event at that Olympics, and nobody knew what any of that was going to look like. Some of it was good. Some of it was good. Like, what was it? Phil Wizard called one guy's move, and that was cool. But, like, this is kind of the inverse of that.
Yeah. And by the way, that's for Fed running the boards today for Iowa Sam. And I just think I agree with Covino. The world of bullying, especially on social media, stinks. It's a bunch of weenies behind their keyboard making fun of other people. I am not by any means promoting bullying behavior. But when you put yourself center stage at the Olympics, let me give you an analogy.
You are expecting elite. You are expecting the best.
Dude. Let's take
but
it
at
back.
the same time, you don't know how fragile people are.
Stop it. All right, let's go back.
Why stop it?
Get a garbage can, light a fire in it, stand around it.
Hey, for all you know, you don't know anything about this woman's backstory. Okay. I'm just saying, for all you know, she could be on the verge of a mental breakdown. She could have just lost a family member. She could be going through something. The world doesn't care. I'm not saying, again, that we're better because we had a good laugh at it. But now you're seeing some of these mockeries knowing that it hurt her feelings and you're feeling different about it. Like Jimmy Fallon did a whole skit on it. Like everybody jumped in on it. And now when you see how much it's affecting her, you do feel a little, maybe we were a little too mean about it.
Well, what I was saying was...
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you upset I interrupted? How does it feel?
Get a new co-host then. Danny, you want to sit in? I'll go home. It's the weekend.
Don't point it out when you do it all the time, you hypocrite.
I set up something. I'm like, get a garbage can, stand around it. I was going to say, sing like Frank Stallone because I'm going to take you back. And then I'm in the middle of saying garbage can, and you say something else. I look like an idiot.
Big deal. What are your panties too tight? Who cares? Continue. Carry on.
Go back to the American Idol days.
Yes.
When William Hung gets on stage and he's singing, she bangs, like... Were we supposed to not make fun of him? You put yourself on national TV. Your family is...
It was funny at the time.
Your family is ridiculous enough to encourage you if you stink. Like, if you stink at something, if your daughter was a terrible singer, and you're like, honey, go ahead, do the talent show. I got you. You're a bad parent. Don't set yourself up to be mocked. Now...
There's that fine line of encouragement, too, though.
If you're on the Olympic stage in a new category of breakdancing, you think Raygun should have the sympathy of everyone?
I don't.
She was like Elaine from Seinfeld.
I found it to be extremely funny as well. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to talk from both sides of my mouth. But when you see her public statement and when you see that now she's come public, coming out to say, hey, can we stop with the hatred? It's really affecting me and my family and the world of breakdancing and the Australian breakdancers and everybody involved in my life, and they canceled the breakdancing competition in 4 years from now. Like, hey, can we please stop with the hate? And it's bothering her. It does make you feel a little bad. Like, she's not taking it in stride and having fun with it. Like, it's really affecting her. I'm just saying it changes the tone a little bit. I'm not saying it's not funny. It is. But it does change it a little bit when you realize, like, this woman's life is kind of ruined now. It's like, it's like anything. Things are funny until someone starts crying about it. You're like, the fun's over. You ever have a pillow fight with your girlfriend? And then, like, all of a sudden, like, she gets hurt. And like, it's like, and like, the fun's over. You ever tease your nephew and it's hilarious, but then they start crying or something and they run to their parents? Fun's over. We had fun and we leaned into it, but now she's crying publicly about, hey, guys, can we stop? Not as fun anymore.
I see the analogy, but when you put yourself out there, you gave great examples.
Who doesn't put themselves out there?
You're wrestling with your little kids. Eventually, one of your kids are going to get kneed in the head or something's going to happen. You're right. You're having a little tickle fight with your girlfriend, and somehow, someone elbows someone. Ow!
Fun's over. That's exactly what happened here. It happened with the Britney Spears stuff years ago. No one really knew, in our defense, that she was mentally unstable. Therefore, we shouldn't be picking on her. We were a little behind on those things at the time. That's what I'm saying. We should know a little better. I'm not trying to stay righteous here or appear that way. I'm just saying I think the fun's over because now she's crying on public social media.
Bullying someone, I think, is different than mocking someone that puts himself out there. I'll give you an example. Dr. Dre. What does he want to do in 2028?
He wants to shoot bows and arrows. He wants to compete in archery.
Snoop Dogg, his bro, is already calling him Braveheart.
That's his boy. There's a difference.
And I do wonder if Dr. Dre is like, watch my archery, and he stinks. You tell me we can't make fun of him? He put himself out there. If I said, hey, guys, Fox Sports Radio Nation, right now I'm going to post on social media me doing the worm.
I'm not saying
and I get down on the ground and start dancing and look like an idiot.
I'm not saying you can't, but, you brought up William Hung. You think we live in that culture now where it would be okay to pounce on that guy? I don't know what was going on with that dude looking back. Looking back, I don't even think he was that bad. We've seen a lot worse. I think we were poking fun at how he looked and the accent. There's no way that would fly today. William Hung, all right, so you evolve. I'm not saying that, again, you can't have fun. It feels like I'm taking a lame stance here, and I'm not trying to. I'm just saying the society and the culture has changed, and we should be a little ashamed, and we should know a little bit better, or maybe have learned something from the past. William Hung, we all laughed at that dude, and he rolled with it, but guess what? It would never fly today because people would say, what are you laughing at, his accent? That's not okay.
You remember when a yell, a funny scream ended a presidential campaign?
Sometimes you do things and you're like, people are going to mock me for this. I think the difference is, did you put yourself in a public forum or not? If you're in your house and someone, records you doing something and it goes viral and it's like, I didn't ask for this. I fell off my couch in my own living room. That's one thing. She's like, dun, 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 dun. Let me get up here. Olympics. Doing her little, like her, her dancing.
That's the culture we live in. We live in the culture of pouncing and living for these moments. There's no question about it. But is now her time to redeem herself? Meaning, and by the way, she's saying she's stepping away, so please leave her, again, family and friends alone. Stop the hate. Do the Mets call upon Raygun? Do they need her now? Because she's clearly the most famous, most viral athlete and celebrity on the internet.
Well,
if you consider fame being who are people sharing and talking about the most nowadays, it's this Rachael Gunn woman from Australia, the breakdancer. And before that, it was Hawk Tuah Girl.
Yeah, but don't you see the difference? Hawk Tuah Girl, she didn't ask for it. And she still said, well, I might as well roll with it.
But you weren't mocking her. There's a huge difference.
You don't think people were mocking her?
No,
she was known for
funny.
spitting on that thing.
Yeah, but that was funny.
You said her family should be humiliated.
I agree they should. But she thought she was being funny, and she rolled with the moment. Funny was not the intent. You don't see the difference there? How could you not?
All right,
funny
the pole
and
vaulter,
fun was not the intent of this woman's breakdancing, who she said just recently in her first public statement that she worked very hard at and took extremely serious.
Dude, she worked as hard at that breakdance routine as when my kids put on a little play after dinner, like, Dad, watch, and they just sing a song and I have to pretend to watch when I'm sitting on the couch.
Look, I agree with you. It was funny. I can't deny that it was funny. I'm just going based on what she said, and it wasn't meant to be funny.
Talked to a girl, said something drunk on the streets of Nashville. She rolled with it and said, "I'm going to make money on this."
One was meant to be funny.
But pole vaulting guy who got his junk caught on the bar.
Yeah,
that guy, made fun of himself a little bit, like, "Hey, I'm that guy." It's a matter of how you react. If this Raygun Australian breakdancer is really going to take herself serious, then it's like delusion to a whole level. Does she watch back her performance and say, "Well, that was good"?
Well, I think someone higher up in the Olympic Committee should have known better. How did she get past the judges or the qualifications? I don't know the backstory.
I know your backstory.
Or what entailed, what the details entailed to qualify.
I have that right here.
Because that's who should be blamed.
Yeah, I agree. Gunn was selected for Australia's breaking team in a 2-day selection process held back in April. It says that the selection event decided that she and one other guy were the best breakers in all of Australia.
Well, I'd hate to see the rest of them.
Right.
What?
Jeff
That's like
Dunn.
Imagine that particular that act though was kept in the back pocket, and she was like, "This is my secret move," because she got through the qualifying rounds. I think.
Here it is. It says ultimately, Rachael Gunn and Jeff Dunn emerged as the top performers in the country. Their selection was based solely on their performance in their battles on that day.
Oh, my God. You know what it's like? It's like when someone goes, "Oh, yeah, I'm homecoming king." But there were only 10 kids in my high school. Is it that impressive?
No, that's true.
It's like, is Australia known for their breakdancing? It was embarrassing, but in a funny way. We all had a good laugh at it. And if you can't laugh at yourself, then you're just delusional.
I don't think you could laugh at yourself when you're on the biggest stage like that and you truly put a serious effort into it. It's embarrassing. It's just an embarrassing moment.
Let's listen, though.
It's just an embarrassing moment.
COVINO,
chalk it up to that. In today's world, you just got to handle those things delicately, unfortunately, because then you look like a bully and you look like some guy that's being mean to a woman who's crying now on social media. And that's all I'm saying. Do I think it's funny? Yes, of course. It was the worst thing I'd ever seen. Let's make that clear. I'm just saying now that she's come public, it's like, the fun is over. That's all I'm saying about this.
I guess I look at it from the perspective of if you put yourself out there and you look ridiculous. You ever see those memes where it's like 4 bodybuilders and one dude that's not really in shape?
Yeah.
Like 4 tanned up, chiseled guys in like a fitness competition, like, yeah, and this one dad bod guy.
But I like to think that guy's joking. That guy's trolling.
Exactly.
She was not doing that.
Imagine it was 4 professional bodybuilders and COVINO, who's in decent shape with his dad bod up there. And then we all mocked it. You deserve it.
In yesteryear's culture, if you don't think things have changed, remember what I said about William Hung. It wouldn't fly today. It would not fly today.
That's true. Yeah, we recently had the conversation, Danny. Do you remember about
and by the way,
shows and movies that wouldn't
no.
stand the test of time? This would not. You're right. This would not have.
I'm not a fan of that. I think we should be able to have fun at people's expense if they put it out there. That's also the rule on social media, right? If you post a picture, even if it's of your ugly kid, hey, you posted it. That's fair game. If you make things public, for example, too, like our buddy Spot often speaks of his relationships on the air. So do we. If you make things public, then you're putting it out there to be criticized. So it's on you. I do get what Rich is saying. But
speaking of
when she's crying, you now look like a bully making fun of it moving forward. That's
a typical wifey or girlfriend tactic. Cry and it goes away. Telling you. Look at our guy Spot that does videos for us, right?
Yeah.
Yesterday, he's on the East Coast doing some family stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He posted a video of him in little shorts and a tank top chopping wood, like you ever see those dudes that chop wood on Instagram?
Is that a joke or a thirst trap? I couldn't figure it out.
That's going to be in the Olympics in 2028.
He's training,
Danny,
huh?
I couldn't tell. So if our buddies and friends are like, yo, look at Spot. Who does this guy think he is? Look at him in a tank top chopping wood.
The difference
if we all made
you're
fun
his
of him.
pal. These are millions and millions of strangers making fun of this woman.
All right, well, you know what?
That's the difference.
We'll talk NFL. We'll talk baseball. We'll move on. But at some point before the end of the show, during a commercial or something, I want you to rewatch a performance and tell me if you think mockery isn't expected and deserved.
It is, and it's been fun. It's all been great and grand, and I've laughed at it a million times. But she's come public. And she's asking you to stop.
Imagine if Danny G entered the diving competition.
So Rich is saying he's not stopping.
I'm not stopping.
Okay.
But I'm not being mean about it. Again, Jimmy Fallon had Rachel Dratch dressed up as her, and they're doing it on the Tonight Show, making fun of it.
Yeah, and you know what? I think we'll get to a point where Rachel Dratch may regret doing it because this woman is living a nightmare now. What happens if what if she can't handle this nightmare? Then is it really still all fun looking back?
Well, you're making points, but my analogy would be Danny G, right? If Danny G said, "Hey guys, I think I'm going to enter the high dive competition."
Danny G's our friend.
How do you know?
Make fun of him.
How do you know that I'm not like a Rodney Dangerfield on that?
Oh, the triple Lindy.
Dude,
Screw you, Mellon.
The triple Lindy.
Imagine
Thornton Mellon style.
Imagine he was Thornton Mellon, but imagine if everyone else is doing their 4 flips into a perfect dive where you don't even see the water move, and then Danny gets up there and does a belly flop. You're telling me that we don't all have the right to be like, did you see that?
Again, the difference, okay? Because clearly you can't see the difference here. Danny G hasn't devoted or dedicated his life to diving, as far as I know. This woman has dedicated her life to dance. That's a fact.
She should have picked a different career then. Come on.
So
I know you for 20-something years. You've dated some professional dancers, and I don't mean strippers.
Well, those two.
Yeah,
just kidding.
But you've dated a girl. I remember it was a New Jersey Nets dancer. You've dated girls that have done college cheerleading, NBA and NFL dance teams. You're trying to tell me they couldn't have done a better job than that girl?
I think I could have done a better job.
Danny,
I'm not saying that she was good.
If you take one,
I'm not saying it wasn't funny.
I could arbitrarily.
I'm saying the fun is over.
I could arbitrarily pick one Lakers girl and be like, 1 month from now, can you do better than that in the Olympics? And they would have.